So today we are comparing the Horl knife sharpening system to the Tumbler knife sharpening system, and we're going to talk about which one is the better sharpening system and why. But first off, I just want to say that these systems are mostly for chef knives, not for folding pocket knives or anything like that. Maybe some fixed blades, but mostly chef knives. Now, really quickly, I'm going to talk about how the system works, but I do have full videos on that you can go and watch, so we're going to get through it really briefly so we can get to the comparison. But basically, they both come with a magnetic block. So it's a block that has an angle on each side. So you have one of two angles you can choose from that are magnets. And then you take the blade and slap it to the magnet. So now the magnet holds the knife at an angle. So then the stones are attached to a roller. So you can use the roller to slide back and forth along the edge until it creates a burr. Once it creates a burr, you can flip the knife over and create another burr by sharpening the other side. Once you get to your final burr, you can either deburr or you can move to another stone if you have one. It's very easy to use, but let's talk about which one is the better sharpening system. Okay, so I've had both these systems for quite some time now, and I'm very confident in which one's better. So, between the two systems, the better system of the two is the Horl. And there's for many, many reasons. Starting it off, the first reason is the way the vise spins. So, these are supposed to spin very nice and smoothly. This one does not keep spinning. So, like if I go to try to spin it, it'll just stop. While the Horl, it will spin like a spinner. So it's extremely, extremely smooth, as you can see. That's just one thing, which, you know, since this system relies on that, it does make it feel a lot better. It makes it a lot better when sharpening, and just how, you know, how precise it is and how much pressure you push and all those little details when sharpening. Now, the next big thing is the magnets. The Tumbler's magnets are nowhere near as strong as the Horl's, which the Horl's, you know, it's strong enough that I can pull the knife off of the Tumbler every time. Even if I put the blade in the stronger position with the Tumbler, the Horl will still be stronger than it and remove the blade off of it. So the magnets are just a lot more stronger on the Horl, which makes it to where when you are sharpening, if the magnets are weak, the blade tends to move and wobble and sometimes pop off. And on the Horl, you don't worry about that nowhere near as much as the Tumbler. Of course, you still have to maintain a small level of pressure without, you know, putting too much pressure so it doesn't pop off. But the Tumbler, you're way more likely for it to pop off. Now, the next thing, the stones. So the Tumbler comes with a diamond plate and then honing metal. Now, personally, I don't recommend using honing metal unless if it's on like super cheap, no-name kitchen knife steel, right? Which these are for kitchen knives, so that's okay, I guess. But I would normally recommend a ceramic, diamond, or aluminum oxide. So it only comes with the diamond plate for sharpening and then the honing metal for deburring and refining the edge. Now, the Horl comes with the diamond plate, 2 aluminum oxides, because you can take these off. Unlike the Tumbler, you can actually take these stones off and replace them with a different stone. So you have a diamond plate, 2 aluminum oxides, and a ceramic, up to 6,000 grit. So you have a much more versatile system with all these different grits. You can choose a toothy edge all the way up to a super fine edge. Another thing is the Horl comes with a really good quality leather strap. No, there's no wood backing on it, but you can just slap it on a piece of wood or whatever and, you know, put your own abrasive on it. So it's really nice that it comes with the extra stones, replaceable stones, and you can order new stones off their site. Now, the Tumbler does come with a knife. I don't know why it came with a knife. It just does. Now, I don't understand it because the knife is not easy to sharpen with their system because it's not broad enough. So if you look at this knife while it's on the magnet, you can see the magnet sits lower than the edge. So when you're sharpening, right, the edge is above the top of the magnet. With this knife, it's below the magnet, so you can't hit it. So what you have to do is you have to lift the blade up the magnet and let it sit up higher on the magnet in order to hit the edge. Now the problem with that is when you go to flip it or anything, you have to try to match that up perfectly. So it makes it a little difficult to sharpen it appropriately, right? You can still sharpen it, it's fine, but it is a lot more difficult than a more broader blade that the magnet will hold a little bit better. You know, it tends to come loose, come off, it tends to move, and all those things, especially when we start considering the magnets again, because the magnet just isn't that strong. While the Horl is much more expensive, nearly $100 more, I do think you're getting a lot more for the money. And yes, the Tumbler is quite a bit more affordable, but it doesn't work nowhere near as good as the Horl, and so it doesn't sharpen as good, and the stones are not as nice. Now, I do think that the Horl is a better value, and I'm going to explain why. While the Tumbler is a very affordable budget version, it's nowhere near as good a quality. So when it comes to the person that's going to be using this, right, which is going to be your grandmas, your uncles, your aunts, people that are not going to spend 6 months learning how to freehand sharpen or take a month learning how to use a fixed angled system, right? This makes it to where they can set up right now, sharpen a knife, and get a sharp knife in minutes. I can literally sharpen on this with little to no effort in under 5 minutes, just about any kitchen knife. And in many cases, only like 60 seconds to 2 minutes, you know, as long as there's not a lot of damages on the knife. So this system makes it to where the people that this is going to be valuable to are the people that are not taking the time to put the effort in, and that's what you're paying for. You're paying to not have to learn how to sharpen a knife. You're paying to not have to learn how to use a KME or a TS Prof or some big fixed angled system. In this case, you just slap it on the magnet and start sharpening, and it holds the angle for you. Yeah, there's a little tiny bit of a learning curve, but I promise you, your grandma would have no problem using this system. That's how easy it is to use.
With those salesman tactics, you would think you're getting paid for this video.
I'm not, though.
I know. My goodness.
Links below.